Hello, everyone, to Dr. Mal and to all of you, my co learners. I hope you are all safe and well in whichever part of the world you may be. So, for today, I'll go ahead and discuss Module 1 of COMM 380, which is understanding the basic concepts underlying advocacy and social mobilization. As part of the objectives, we'll discuss the concepts of advocacy, communication, and social mobilization and other related ideas. I'll also illustrate a concept map which I created showing the relationship among these concepts. So to have a clear perspective, we'll be answering, just WH questions, basic questions. This will help us identify basic concepts and how they interplay with each other. And the goal is for us to come up with answers to these questions at the end of the presentation. First, we'll answer the what. What is ACSM? What are the terms or basic concepts involved? And what is the role of communication? Then immediately followed by why. Why do we have to do this in the first place? What's our motivation? And why is it so hard to get results immediately? What would be the key challenges? Identifying the who would be also significant. So who are the people involved? Stakeholders and decision makers. And then the how. How does contemporary communication platforms come to play? I also included when to identify the importance of time frame in reaching our goal. I'd like to present a concept map to guide us through, which I created based on my readings from World Health Organization's ACSM for Tuberculosis Control Handbook, Mary Joyce's book on digital activism decoded, and also Charles Salmon's Mobilizing Public Will for Social Change. We've got ACSM as our main topic with three branches which will be discussed separately. So advocacy, communication, and social mobilization. Let's talk about ACSM first. So the goal, of course, is to empower people or change social or behavioral issues. Right? In a nutshell, ACSM is a combination of the tripartite roles of advocacy, communication, and social mobilization with the end goal of empowering people and initiating social or behavioral change. Well, it can be done in a smaller community-based scale or on a global context. Actually, it's an accumulation of all these concepts and more. To understand further, let's go ahead and talk about advocacy. Advocacy deals with addressing social problems. But the question is, why do we need to do this in the first place? Why don't we just take it as a regular problem and find immediate solutions to it? What's in it for us? What would be our motivation in doing so? And the answer is because we are dealing with conditions and consequences concerning a generally larger number of people. Issues like racism, gender equality, poverty are deeply seated in our culture. It has been there, time immemorial. It's part of our social mores, right? So, come to think of it, you are believed to be at fault if you are different through stereotypes and discrimination. If you caught an incurable disease or have mental health issues, you'll be stigmatized and marginalized. On the onset of the problem, you are being judged. So there's a sense of fear to be out there, be part of the solution, and take a stand. Having lack of education is actually an essential part of it. So yeah, think of the instances again that you were able to support a cause or an advocacy and ask yourself why. Our motivations on participating or initiating an advocacy differs depending on our point of views. It could be personal, it could be political, it could be financial reasons. Mostly, national advocacies aim to foster political will. Well, for the purpose of policy making, because they have the political power, so we can hold them accountable to ensure financial resource, like including it on a national budget. Say, for example, the issue on tuberculosis. If there would be a policy that would support these patients, like putting up treatment facilities, then the higher chances of claiming advocacy success. All right, moving forward, searching over the web, you'll find various types of advocacies like these. However, we'll just focus on three for now: policy advocacy, program advocacy, and media advocacy. My previous example on tuberculosis is a representation of policy advocacy. It appeals to policymakers and administrators about the impact of the issue in a national level. Program advocacy, however, deals with convincing opinion leaders to participate. Opinion leaders are individuals or organizations that are experts within a specific field, or otherwise have views that are both widely known and trusted, like industry insiders. For tuberculosis, those would be doctors, health practitioners, and specialists, local or municipal barangay officials. So as long as they can be part of the solution-making process, knowledgeable and credible, then they'll be part of that bunch of leaders that can participate. Because yeah, at the end of the day, the more trustworthy and credible you are, the more people will believe and follow your recommendations. Lastly would be media advocacy. So this one would be on a bigger scale because it puts the issue on public agenda. So we have wider audience, more platforms. It also encourages media to cover and talk about related issues regularly to create a buzz through press conference, TV shows, celebrity influencers, spokespersons, etc. And the goal is to call attention of policymakers by creating a picture, through the public eye to create and, generate support from the government and donors. Also, to initiate partnerships for mobilization. It doesn't necessarily have to be just the government alone. It can also be private enterprises and corporations. It could go big and even reach up to global context. Say, for example, through World Health Organizations or be part of the United Nations Development Goals, this is SDGs. So that's all about advocacy. Now let's talk about the second chunk of ACSM, which is communication. Here it is in the middle. It is actually a binding process through participation and dialogue. So the keyword in here would be integration. It is the center of the framework, ACSM framework and processes. All right, there are two concepts under communication that would be program communication and social marketing. So program communication aims to inform and empower general public or the specific population involved. Say, for example, tuberculosis patients and their families. It also has the duty to create the environment through communities to discuss, organize, and communicate own perspectives to persuade people to initiate social change. Let me also quote a World Health Organization. They said, information must be translated into knowledge, knowledge into permanent behavior. So yeah, the role actually of the program communication is not just gathering relevant information, but make use of those to initiate permanent change. All right, one important factor for that, to secure that, is through social marketing. So social marketing should not be confused with social media marketing. Those are two different concepts. Social marketing deals with having a deep understanding of your target market or, the people you would want to help. So you can build efficient policies, programs that they really need that can address their social or behavioral issues. Well, this includes planning and execution process. Planning involves identifying what projects to pursue or services to offer. Also, how to promote services availability and what are the exchange or profits. Well, as a commercial marketer myself, the process is somehow the same in terms of social marketing, but the outcomes are different. We mainly focus on the profits, while ACSM, through social marketing, focuses on changing someone's way of life through the financial resources they accumulate. So there's, yeah, a deeper purpose to that. It is significant as well to note how contemporary social media platforms can accelerate information dissemination and boost promotion and participation. With social media, we can be our own medium. We create our own platform. We also have the free will to communicate our support, solicit funding, collaborate, and a lot more. Well, if you have read Mary Joyce's Digital Activism Decoded book, it communicates about the capabilities of internet for collective action. We can have a sense of collective identity, the public will to participate as a whole. It talks about activism both online and in the streets. However, there are also certain issues that needs to be addressed, such as the digital gap amongst the rich and the poor, accessibility, geography, also censorship in some countries like China and North Korea. Finally, let's talk about social mobilization. Well, social mobilization is about building relationships, bringing together visible intersectoral allies. We also have the decision makers or stakeholders. Decision makers are all the people involved in the process. The ultimate goal for social mobilization is sustainability. We do not want to experience donor fatigue, where organizers must find a way to be self-regulating through capacity building. Well, capacity building is a process of developing competencies and independent capabilities, such as building infrastructure to deliver ACSM program, building new partnerships while nurturing existing ones, also improving managerial skills through trainings and short courses. It is also essential to be forward-looking, preparing through building problem-solving capability. Let me quote again World Health Organization. They said there is little value in building a system that cements in today's solution to today's problem. So we need to create more innovative capability so that in the future, the system or community we are working with can respond appropriately to new problems in unfamiliar contexts. Right, finally, time frame. It is substantial to assess, monitor, and evaluate, while measurement and evaluation measures outcome. It measures the impact on how differently the people's lives are afterwards. With proper evaluation, we can focus on and improve on the things that worked and get rid of those that did not work. That way, we can be more efficient. It can save us time, money, and effort. That sums up our ACSM concept map. Alright, in conclusion, ACSM empowers people through tackling stigma, raising awareness, and improving adherence. It raises political commitment through media utilization. It continuously scales up communication programming to achieve sustainability and addresses innovative ways of preparing for future problems. So there you have it. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you learned something from our discussion for today. Have a good one.